go. Keep that in, please.
That's how we're starting.
All right, good. Hi, guys.
Oh my
Back
god.
to business.
What was this? How is that?
I was doing hand signs.
How does that?
Too much.
How's that certain
And pose.
Alright.
This is Comic Book Mania.
Like always.
I'm Zach.
I'm Schmoobly Dong.
And we're the Bad Game Boys.
I was replaced.
You were replaced. We signed Shmuley Dong to a new contract.
Yeah.
And Dante's gone.
He deserves it.
Yeah. Dante is no more. This is my new co-host, Shmuley Dong.
Yeah, but dang.
Okay. Is that the noise Shmuley Dong makes?
That's all he says.
Let's get started with comic book news.
I'm gonna
Bring
put
up
the news right over your face.
Please do. Right here. In the face zone. Alright, we got a lot of news. Not a lot, actually.
Dude, that's so much.
Not too much.
That's like 5 things.
And we're going to start out depressing news for Dante, because Daniel Cudmore is not going to be in Deadpool as Colossus.
I like Daniel Cudmore.
So, the guy you met at Comic-Con last year?
He's
no
cool.
more. In better news for you.
Okay.
Cody Smith McPhee casts as young Nightcrawler in Apocalypse.
Now, if you've watched our previous videos, as in...
Previously on Comic Book Mania.
Yeah, I ain't doing that shit.
Okay.
Stupid idiots.
Okay.
If you've watched our top 10 superhero movies video.
X2 was your favorite because of Nightcrawler.
Yes, and now maybe X-Men Apocalypse will be it.
Do you know, Loop,
Muffin Man?
Fruit Loop, whatever his name was from Spy Kids, actually played Nightcrawler? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that guy. So watch Spy Kids, that's Nightcrawler.
The original villain.
From Spy
Villain, and then became a good guy.
At the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The
And
villain
the
ends up
movies.
being his henchman.
Yeah, it's
The
weird.
Walking Dead rating drops as a SNL special was on. Everybody was watching the SNL special.
I wasn't, I was at work.
I know you were. I was watching this.
I watched it later and it was very good.
It was very good.
As was The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead was great. Deathbolt is a villain that's going to be appearing on Arrow. Doug Jones was cast as him.
Yes, that is a metahuman.
And Leslie Tompkins on Gotham, who was played by Morena Baccarin.
Yeah,
Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Cast as female lead in Deadpool. We reported last week that she was up for one of the female lead. A lot of people were.
Mm-hmm.
And she finally got casted. So good for her. The Walking Dead spinoff to have more... You can bring it on, I don't care. The Walking Dead spinoff to have more humanity in it than the actual Walking Dead.
Well, yeah, as I've stated before, what they said that they were going to do with the spinoff is... Sorry.
You can never go an episode without burping.
Is that they are going to basically do it while Rick is in his coma. Mm-hmm. So you're watching the government fall and people die and sadness and sadness.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. In Constantine news, if you're a big fan of that like we are, Constantine is not canceled officially. Decision to be made in May on what's going to happen to the show. Hopefully it gets a second season or it moves over to Sci-Fi and they get it. Jay Hernandez cast as El Diablo in Suicide Squad. A second tier villain. But he's also, I've heard, he's a really good superhero, too. He a really cool one.
I didn't do my research this week.
I know you didn't. Jared Leto gaining weight for the role of Joker. Says his Joker will be more Shakespearean than previous Jokers.
To be! Or not to be.
No, but I think it's going to be
That
cool.
is the question.
The only thing that strikes me is him gaining weight, because most of the Jokers have been scrawny and...
Not scrawny, but like... Slender.
Slender, yeah. So, I don't know. This could be a different Joker entirely.
Oh, if he's obese, I'm gonna die.
Evan Peters...
they're going to give me cookies.
He's going to have the best voice in this one. Jared Leto, please.
Give me cookies.
Okay,
Jared Leto's watching this.
Okay, Mr. J.
What kind do you want? You know what kind I want, bitch.
You want chocolate chip, right?
Double chocolate chip.
Double chocolate chip, okay. Evan Peters wants to return as Quicksilver in Apocalypse. I would not have any problems with that. DC Comics makes girl into superhero after she complains about the lack of female superheroes in comics.
Go DC.
Yeah,
That's like Marvel making the deaf superhero for the little boy.
Laura Benanati cast
I love her.
Supergirl's mother in the Supergirl
I don't
show.
know who she is.
We will be reviewing that show when it comes on the air.
It's not. They canceled it already. News. Breaking.
Are we gonna talk about iZombie on the show? I think I'll talk about it in a separate segment.
Well, if anything, you can just do...
A little recap of it and everything. I cannot wait for the show. I'm really excited. Rumor that the next Spider-Man may not be Peter Parker.
Who else could it be?
Miles Morales.
Ben Reilly.
I could see like them doing like a Venom kind of. Or Carnage.
Reilly.
Who's Ben Reilly?
Another Spider-Man from
Is
an
he?
alternate reality.
Okay. Or they could do
I want to see him because he's
any of the
awesome.
Spider-Verse that they're doing right now in the comic books.
That's over.
Is it?
Yeah, it just ended.
I want them to do Pig Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham, sorry. Wonder Woman to start filming in fall. So Gal Gadot had tweeted out that.
Who?
Gal Gadot, who's playing Wonder Woman.
That's how you pronounce her name?
Gal Gadot, yes.
Oh.
I didn't put that in there, but I'm just telling you that's what's in there.
I've
Dan
been
Slott,
saying it wrong.
who wrote The Amazing Spider-Man, believes new solo Spider-Man should be the Last Hunt storyline. Craven Last Hunt.
Yeah, Craven
storyline.
Last Hunt.
I would love to see that because Craven is one of the most underrated characters in the Marvel Universe.
You know what I would like to see them
Who?
do? Start with Craven. Don't do the Goblin.
I don't need to see Goblin again. Goblin's been overdone.
Do something else, and then end it with Merlin.
Like, I don't need to see...
Merlin. Merlin.
I don't need to see Uncle Ben dying anymore. I've seen that enough. I don't need to see Bruce Wayne's parents dying anymore.
I do.
Do you?
I want at least 4 more.
They're doing it in Batman v
Alright,
Superman.
I just need 3 more.
Okay. Maybe they'll do it in Justice League again.
But yeah, no, I want to see,
Or they'll do it in the new Batman solo film.
I want to see Merlin, because he's basically the one that comes the closest to killing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Aside from Dr. Octopus, who actually succeeded, technically.
You know, I want to see, like, Mysterion.
It's Mysterio.
No, isn't it Mysterion?
Mysterion's from South Park. Anybody see Mysterion? Say yeah!
Are you sure?
Yes!
I thought it was Mysterion.
It's Mysterio.
I thought, no, really?
Yes!
I'm confused now.
Anybody see Mysterion? Say yeah!
Well, whatever. I want to see him.
Kenny's superhero.
Is
His
it?
name's Mysterion.
I'm confused. I'm getting my shows mixed up. Alright, let's just continue on with the news. Hugh Jackman wants to keep playing Wolverine until he dies.
That's dangerous.
We're going to see Old Man Logan, hopefully. That'd be cool.
I have that book. I have to read it.
Okay, and in more Spider-Man news, we've got actually a lot of Spider-Man. Donald Glover, who is also known as Childish Gambino, would be honored to play Spider-Man. Also, Miles Morales, he could play him. I want to see this so bad.
But he's not campaigning for it.
He's not campaigning. He used to, a lot. He would say Donald for Spider-Man, and his comedy special, he made a lot of Spider-Man jokes.
But this time he was just...
He's like, I just be honored.
If the fans want to do it, by all means, but I'm not going to do it.
I honestly think they're going to do Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker in this MCU, which I think would be pretty cool. But there have been reports he's a little too old to play Miles Morales. But I wouldn't mind at all. I think they could make him
he could do it.
But they want to send him in high school, so I think he could pull off a high school role.
We'll see.
Jason Momoa, Dawn of Justice poster has been revealed.
Oh, Unite the Seven?
Please, if you can, put this up.
I'll put it over you.
Put it over me. Seriously, cover this. It looks badass. That's the only word I can say about it. It looks...
It looks like the Justice League.
The 90s...
Yeah, the 90s Justice League. Well, 2000s Justice League.
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah.
They show... The one with the hook hand.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. That's in the 90s.
That's also 2000s.
What they into that? Okay. Yeah. But if you look at the poster and the bottom of his belt, you can see the orange and green.
Can you?
If you look down, yeah, you can. If you look down,
I didn't notice that.
If you look at his dick, basically, I'm not even joking. And
I get an excuse to look at Jason Momoa's dick.
Dude, Jason Momoa's a good-looking dude. I can't even
Top
lie
5?
about that.
Top 5 dudes you bang?
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
You heard it here. Zach would bang a dude.
Dothraki.
Who?
That's his clan in Game of Thrones is called the Dothraki.
He was in that clan?
Basically.
They let that go through?
Not the KKK.
Whoa!
No. And finally, in more Spider-Man news, Stan Lee draws Spider-Man for Boy with Autism, which I think was really sweet. It was at a con, and he basically just drew it for him. And I think that's awesome. Stan Lee's a badass.
Stan Lee's an awesome dude.
He's 92 years old.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
I know. I'm sad.
So thank you guys so much for watching our news segment. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. It really helps out.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your grandma.
Tell your grandma to watch the show.
No, your grandma's gonna look at this.
We sounded really Italian when we said that.
Your grandma gonna look at this and she's gonna be like,
these are two sexy motherfuckers.
How the fuck did they get in my computer?
And they talking about comic books? What comic books?
This ain't how any of this
It used
works.
to be 1 cent when I used to be young. Okay?
25.
25 cents.
A nickel.
A nickel.
A nipple.
A nipple.
I used to have to slip a nipple.
We'll see you guys next week if you haven't already.
exited
this video. What we do now is we
will do the spoilers.
we review TV shows and we spoil them.
So
we talk about how great they were.
For the people leaving, good day.
Thank you.
Good night.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
And I love you.
And we love you.
Bye.
Here I go. Whee!
Let's talk about Gotham.
Gotham?
Gotham?
What's Gotham?
It's a show about Jim Gordon.
It's actually a city, you dummy.
It's a city about Jim Gordon. This week, we got the big episode about the Joker. I don't consider him the Joker. The guy was good. I'll admit that.
I think
Cameron
he should
Megabin.
be someone else.
I don't think he's going to be Joker.
But
I think it's too convenient for him to be Joker. I think it's somebody else we haven't met yet, or there was in this episode, but they haven't revealed. I think he's either in. Maybe Penguin could be him. I don't know. That was an old theory, but I think it's probably one of the people that's with Fish Mooney right now.
But basically, we got introduced to the Flying Graysons.
Yes.
And their circus act.
It was very convenient at the end.
For those of you that know who the Flying Graysons are, they are Robin's family.
Parents.
Family.
The Graysons.
Family.
Who was the other family? What was the other family's
The
name?
Maseratis.
The Maserati.
That's a car.
Yeah. Well, it's.
I don't know. They weren't important.
There's a feud going on between the Graysons and the other family. And
they're clowns, and the Graysons are acrobats.
And the kid's mother dies.
Mysteriously.
Yeah, and Felix Faust was in this episode from
Yeah, he played the blind fortune teller.
Yeah, Mark Mongolius.
Mongolian, more like it.
Mongolian Knights. Ooh.
Jinx, you owe me soda.
I can't hear out of my right ear. Ow. Ow.
Can you hear me now?
No.
So, alright.
She ends up dying, and
we don't know who did it. We have a guess. I had a guess.
What did you think it was before you found out who it was?
The fucking Joker kid.
Did you think it was a Joker
kid?
Yeah. I had that feeling. I thought it was the Felix Faust dude. I
thought it was, at first I thought it was the guy that runs the circus. The big dude. You know what I'm talking about?
The guy that they arrested first.
The guy that looks like Jordan Peele?
Yes, okay.
But then, a little later, after they started talking to the kid, I was like, I think it was you.
He's basically a little sap in the beginning, and then...
He's a bitch.
And then Leslie Tompkins makes Gordon go... this is what made me laugh. She invites Gordon over for dinner, and she basically gets told the fortune from the blind fortune teller, and she's freaking out about it. She's like... Gordon's like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, basically. And Leslie's like, what do you mean it's bullshit? She starts freaking out on him. I'm like... Yep. So they don't even explain that. They go to where the blind fortune teller tells them to go, alludes to, and they find. Riddle,
and I thought they were going to give it to Ed. Ed was going to solve it.
I thought that would have been more convenient. I think. I'm glad they figured it out.
I'm not.
They went to underneath a bridge. They found the hatchet that actually killed the mother, but it was engraved with
satanic.
Satanic. So they thought it was
the Hellfire Club.
It was a.
I don't know how I remembered that.
Isn't that a big group in the Batman universe?
Damn, I don't know how I remembered that.
That's a good remembering right there. So they go. Gordon, I don't know how he figures it out.
You can see that it was burned in.
Okay,
and that's not how they put their.
They arrest the blind fortune. Not arrest. They bring him into the station,
and they don't tell the kid that. The Joker. I can't remember his fucking name.
We're
gonna call him Paulie.
Paulie. Paulie doesn't realize.
No, we're just gonna say Joker.
Joker. Yeah, Joker. They bring in the blind fortune teller, and they start. Gordon starts attacking him. He's like, "You killed her. You're covering up for somebody."
And he's like, "You're not even blind," and throws a ball at him, and it hits him in the face. And he's like,
"Gordon, you're a dick."
He's like, "Who did that?"
So Gordon has a plan.
Didn't happen.
Gordon has a plan to kind of break their spirits, basically, and he brings in Joker, and they sit down, and he's basically crying. He's like, "Oh, you killed."
This was my favorite scene.
I thought it was.
He hunched over, and he's like,
"So basically, Gordon.
So you killed my mom."
So Gordon's basically tells him he's your father, and the blood test will help. And, and then blind fortune teller's like, "I don't like needles, so yeah, I'm your father, and you're a little piece of shit, basically. If I wasn't your father, I would have killed you right now."
And then the best scene,
I didn't like it.
Gordon goes, "Why did you do it? Why did you kill your mom?" And he's
crying.
He hunches over and he goes, "Why are you going to tell me I killed my mom?"
And like a switch, he flips.
And he starts laughing.
He's got the Joker laugh down.
And then he looks in the camera and goes, "My mother was a whore."
Made me laugh.
And I went, "Whoa!"
It surprised me. I kind of saw it coming.
I did not.
And then he gives off the Joker laugh,
which I thought was great.
It's pretty good. He's not doing a bad job. I'd have to find out. He's not that bad. We gave him shit last week.
Yeah.
We were like, he looks nothing like the Joker.
As soon as I saw it, I went.
I'm wondering who they're going to get to play Harley if they do bring in Harley.
John Stamos
is going to play Harley. Okay, you've heard it here first. If John Stamos ends up playing Harley Quinn, Dante said it first, right here. John Stamos for Harley Quinn. Hashtag John Stamos
2016
for Harley Quinn. But he'd have to be really young in this universe to be Harley Quinn. It's Harley Quinzel first, and then she becomes just Harley Quinn.
But then we had some small shit with
Enigma.
Oh, I was gonna say Barbara.
Oh my god! When she came on my screen, I'm like, no!
Well, she goes back to her apartment, and then
she finds Selena and I.
She's just like, alright, fuck it. And sits on the couch, and she's like, so what are we talking about? And starts eating cereal. And they're like, nailed!
She's basically like, I'm gonna go make them feel jealous. I'm gonna get all dressed up. She gets all dressed up, and they basically call her a whore at one point. She goes to the police station.
She kicks open the door.
Leslie and Gord are making out.
She opens the door, and she's like,
and I laughed hysterically.
Oh, I did too.
Like, fuck you, Barbara. No one cares about
stupid.
you. Fish is still in the prison.
She took charge, and she
basically like, my family's gonna beat the shit out of you. She basically rallies all the guys with her.
Yeah.
And they have a meeting with the man upstairs, which turns out to be the doll maker.
His name is Dr. Dalmecchia.
So it's basically a little...
I'm not kidding.
I know.
His name is spelled D-A-U-L.
So it's a little crossover. It's a little crossover with Arrow, kind of.
Not really.
The same villain.
This is olden days.
Wait,
wasn't the Dollmaker in...
This is in the Arrow, yes.
No, in Gotham, too.
Earlier, they hinted at it. They hinted at it. It was like in the one of the first
no, I think No, isn't... It might be the goat thing.
Yeah, you're thinking of the goat monster
The spirit of the goat?
It looked like a...
Spirit of Massachusetts.
We're gonna get... Stop it.
Dude, it's 5 seconds. Calm your tits.
You always tell me that, so I'm gonna tell you that. He's gonna hit me.
So that was Gotham. I enjoyed this episode.
It was alright. I wasn't a big fan of the episode. I don't know. Joker's my favorite character. You know this. Yeah. Joker's my favorite character. I don't know. It's a little convenient. I kind of want... I would rather have somebody else be Joker. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little...
All in all, I thought it was a good episode.
Why I have problems with this is... two reasons. Killing Joke would have been a better origin story because they're introducing Red Hood next week. So maybe that could be Joker.
What bothers me though is no, it's not Joker, because you got to figure in the Killing Joke they even say this man, the Red Hood, has been around for a while, and they're just gonna dress up like him, to kind of instill fear. So you got to figure this man's been around for a couple years.
But also, secondly, what bothers me is because Joker is only there because of Batman. He doesn't appear before Batman comes in. He doesn't appear right before. He's there during Batman. He comes in when Batman's already Bruce Wayne's already Batman. So this is my problem with Gotham. They're introducing villains that shouldn't have been introduced yet in a kind of way. Like, I love Penguin. I think he's the best villain on the show. Enigma is going to be probably better in the second season. Fish Mooney's created for the show, which I love. But Joker, I don't think should have been introduced yet. I think they should have... They should never have brought him in, or they should have just left him out of the show entirely. So,
but that's our little rant on Gotham. We're going to cut to Arrow.
And next week we got the Red Hood episode.
Yes.
So it should be good.
It should. So as I stated before, I said Arrow.
We're going to talk about Flash.
We're going to talk about the Flash.
Firestorm is no more in the beginning of this episode. Ronnie and Stein have separated.
Yeah, so they're not... He's not dead, is what we're saying.
Yeah, they're not dead. They kind of alluded to them being dead last episode when the explosion happened, but nothing nuclear happened. That's what they were worried about. Yeah. Like a nuclear explosion. And then Cisco's reading the nuclear readings, and he's like, nothing happened. There's no radiation anywhere. Yeah. And then they go back and they see Stein. Was he naked or
he had clothes.
And then they see Ronnie and Caitlin and him.
Yeah, they had their clothes that they had on when they combined.
And then Ronnie and Caitlin kiss, and it's adorable.
So then they go home happily ever after.
Stein gets to his wife. Ronnie and Caitlin move in with Barry for a little bit.
For the moment.
Iris gets weirded out. And
then...
Did anything happen with Linda Park in this episode? No. Or was it just she wasn't in this episode?
I think she had like a minor
role. And now Iris is actually helping the reporters investigate
what's
what happened
going on
with
in Starling.
Firestorm and all that.
But, so everything seems hunky-dory.
And Eiling is now looking for Firestorm.
And, Ronnie and Stein are still connected mentally.
Because Ronnie loves pizza, and now Stein didn't like pizza, now loves it, wants it.
And then something happened with Ronnie, I don't
Harrison
remember.
allows Eiling to find Stein, and take him away to torture him to get Firestorm. They go to the base, wherever they're at, and Stein is torturing him. Ronnie can feel it. Ronnie basically carves himself to find out where he is. I forget how Ronnie finds out. But
he finds out where he's at.
And Caitlin and Ronnie... Caitlin doesn't go with them. They give the particle accelerator... Not the particle accelerator. The quantum... Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Back to him. And he's like, we have to get back together.
Yeah.
Basically. And they go find Stein. They find him. Grabs him. They get out of there. And Stein is like... They've been feuding throughout this episode, him and Ronald. And
Ronnie.
I love that he calls him Ronald. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And they basically fuse back together and become Firestorm. And it's awesome.
To make them do that, Flash gets stuff on his suit, and he can't fight, so he's got to run around in a circle, because speed is the only thing that'll calm us down.
Yeah.
So then Stein and Ronnie are talking, and they're like, we have to become Firestorm again. And the problem with it was that they may not be able to disconnect from each other.
Yeah.
So they grab hands and combine.
Wells tells them, basically, you've always been fighting, letting each other...
You've been fighting, trying to...
Combining together.
Yeah.
Don't fight it, allow
Just
it to
let it
happen.
happen.
And they combine...
And they
you
did
can hear
it perfectly.
Oh, God.
You see Ronnie, he's the body, and Stein's the mind.
You can hear him inside the head.
But Ronnie has control of his body,
And
which is the good thing.
Stein's like, let's do this the right way. And they start fucking shit up, and it's
They were
amazing.
going crazy. They did the white eyes perfect.
Oh, I forgot about that part. It was amazing.
When you could hear Stein's voice in his head, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because it sounded as if he was actually in his head.
And they actually take down Firestorm. Eiling does. And you're like, oh, is he going to kill him? He has the gun on him. And then Flash comes out of nowhere and just punches him.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. And they basically tell, they go back, everybody's hunky-dory, and then Caitlin...
The best part was the, when they went to commercial, we see Firestorm and Flash, and they cross and go
Team
off
up
screen.
episodes hopefully happening soon.
Yeah. But then we find out that they're not staying for
They're
long.
leaving.
They're leaving.
Caitlin's like, I've had you for a day, and you're already leaving. But she realizes he has to go.
But it was really good because they disconnected from each other, and they were able to kiss their significant other.
And Stein's wife is okay with it. She understands it.
Yeah.
And when they're at the house and they're leaving, I was like, they're going to stand by the doorway. They're going to stand by the door and watch him go off. And I'm like, they did it. It was sweet. And
very nice.
Firestorm is now going off to Pittsburgh for an old friend with Stein.
Yeah.
That can help him out, figure how they can work this out, and hopefully...
figure out how to use their powers.
Yeah. And then we get to the end of the episode.
And you see Eiling, he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's in his office, and the lights start flickering, and you see a flash of yellow light.
I thought it was Barry at first, and then I was like, oh shit, it's actually Professor Wells.
You see Professor Zoom.
Yeah, they haven't announced that he's Professor Zoom yet,
But Eiling's in the sewers, and I'm confused at this point. I'm like, no way, this isn't gonna
I kind of figured he was leading up to where this is going.
So, Wells drops him, and he goes, who are you? And mind you, Wells is shaking his face. He takes off the hood, and we see it's...
This is the first time we've ever seen Wells
him
in the suit. Yeah, revealed.
Confirmed.
Yes.
So, we see him in the suit, and he goes, an old friend wanted to say hi. And runs away, and then he turns and says, oh, God. And you hear...
Perfectly.
Not God.
Grodd. And
he grabbed... Every nerd...
freaked out. I haven't read much about Grodd. I freaked out. And
do you remember Teen Titans?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
He grabs his leg and drags him, and then they ended it.
So we don't know if he's dead or not.
Yes.
But a lot of people...
People are speculating he's dead. I personally do not feel that way. I feel that Grodd's going to use him to his advantage.
I think he's just going to torture him like he did to Eiling did to Grodd.
But
wow, Wells and Grodd working together, which is amazing, and I love it. And if they do a team up episode with him and Grodd, and
then bring Arrow,
not even Arrow. You could bring it.
Cool,
you could do.
though.
Well, they have the 18th. The 18th episode is Adam's coming to Star to.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Central City. So you could have Firestorm come back, Arrow, Flash.
Isn't Cisco and Joe supposed to go to Starling City
They might.
in a recent episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then the preview for next episode.
We just can't. We won't talk about
Well,
that.
no, we can talk about it. It's not really a spoiler because everybody knows about it.
True.
Professor Wells is going to finally reveal who he is to everyone. Which I don't know where they're going with this. Which I love. I'm thankful. I don't know.
That's what makes a good show.
I kind of got it because
you have an idea, but you
the
can't.
Flashpoint storyline where that leads to.
Yeah.
Where this is all going because of what they're setting up with
I
Barry.
think 17 is when he travels.
Yeah. Which is the next episode.
Is it?
This was 16. Yeah.
I thought this was 15.
No, because next episode 17.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we get the All-Star Team-Up episode after that, 18. So Flash is going on hiatus. We will miss you for the next couple weeks. March 17th is when you come
17th.
back. And we will see you guys. We will see.
We're going to talk about Arrow.
now, hopefully. And
Maybe,
then
maybe not. Maybe we'll talk about Constantine.
It's done.
Don't say
You
it.
got me really depressed. I miss you, Constantine. And I'm dead.
I wasn't even aiming at you.
It looked on the camera like you were aiming at me.
My hand's here. This is where the arrow is. Oh my god.
I don't think I would be screaming. I think I'd be dead.
Yeah, probably.
And speaking about dead, Oliver has to get his killer instinct back in this episode.
Whoa! Was that a transition?
Thank you, Seggy.
He's not there. He hates you.
He was there a little bit ago.
Maybe.
How do you guys like Seggy? Do you like him?
Yeah, hopefully. Comments.
Oh, hopefully.
Because if not, I'll throw something else in.
No, we're gonna keep Seggy. So this episode, Oliver.
This was a short episode. If you think about it, there wasn't much that happened.
No, this is what I was disappointed about.
Oliver has to get his killer instinct back, so he's on the island training.
He takes Thea with him.
Yeah, and he goes to see Slade, and
he's gone.
Talking. Well, he's talking, and he sees that the lock is broken, and a guard is on the bed. So he goes, and then he gets a phone call from Malcolm, and he goes, "Yeah, I did it."
Malcolm's like, "You have to get your killer instinct back." So
he's like, "Do it, have fun."
And
then he goes, "The phone won't work after this call."
I was disappointed because they didn't have a lot of Slade because Slade is the best villain they've ever had on the show, and I love it. Ross might get up there, but not yet. But they go outside, and he's looking for Thea. He's like, "We gotta get the fuck out of here because Slade's here."
Well, he goes over, and the fire's out, and he's like, "Oh god!" And she goes, "What are you worrying about? I was just getting firewood."
And then you see Slade, who looks badass as ever. Manu Bennett, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it bring me joy because I love Manu Bennett and how he portrays Slade.
So basically,
he's like, "Hello, kid." I was like, "Yes."
They fought. Oliver got locked up, and
Thea punches Slade, and he's like, "I've missed you." And then he punches the shit out of Thea, and he locks him in the cage.
God. When he dislocated her arm.
I thought he broke her arm.
No, he dislocated it.
So basically, to escape, Oliver finds out they built the cells for
because it's
grown
a Chinese military camp, whatever. So it's built for men.
Before this, though, Slade is talking to them. He's like, "I'm not gonna kill you, kid," and he tells them, "I'm gonna let you die in here like you allowed me to." And then he's talking to Thea. He's like, "Your brother's had secrets. He's got more."
Oh yeah, and she's trying to figure out what secrets, and he finally tells her that
she
killed Sarah.
Thea's like, "Why won't you tell me?" This is after he dislocates her arm, and they get out of the cage. They're walking, and then Thea's like,
she sees a path, and she's like, "Let's take that."
And Oliver's like, "No!" And he throws her out, and he gets stabbed by one of his traps that he put there.
She goes, "What maniac put that there?"
And he rips it out, and he's bleeding.
He's just.
Thea's like, "We have to sit down. We have to relax. It won't help if you pass out and we both get killed." So she's like, "You keep avoiding what's going on. Why won't you tell me? You've told me basically everything, and I know there's something on your mind." And she basically is like, "You killed Sarah."
And she's mortified.
She's freaking out. She's like, "Oh, what?" And she finally tells him, she's like, "Malcolm Merlyn used me for everything." And then they have, I think, one of the best fight scenes in the history of the show.
Slade Wilson takes on both of them.
Both Thea Queen and Oliver, and it's awesome.
And he takes it to them, and then he gets dropped to his knees, and Thea puts the gun to his head, and he goes, "Do it, pull the trigger."
And she's about to, and Oliver's
and
like,
it cuts black, and then you hear a gunshot, and I'm like, Oh,
Well,
no.
Oliver's telling her while she's pointing at him. He's like, "You're not a killer. I'm a killer. Malcolm's a killer. You're not." He's like, "Tell that to Sarah." I was like, "Oh,
Oh, sick burn, bro! His posse jumps out from the trees. You're like, oh!
you got wrecked."
Death jams.
And then the shot happens, and then you find out, and then Slade's in the cage, and he's like,
jail
"It's
cell.
just a flesh wound."
It's a flash wound, sir.
And he's like, "You don't have the killer instinct like your brother." And she's like, "Well, tell that to Sarah again." I'm like, Jesus.
And then the posse came out from the cells, and they're like, oh!
And then throughout this episode, we've been having flashbacks to when he came back to Starling City, and he's basically, oh, dude, Tommy was back, and it was awesome. I freaking love
It was great to
Tommy.
see him.
Tommy is basically protecting Thea and Laurel.
He's
in this
being
episode.
Oliver.
Detective Lance was a dick in this episode, but it's understandable.
His daughter died.
Yeah, this is before they find out Sarah's still alive,
Yeah.
and Laurel's just like, "Why are you being a dick?" And he's like, "You're going to San Francisco to save fat cats would make their wallets bigger."
Yeah, and
he's
they're like, meow!
and he's like, "You should be here helping out."
Actually
Yeah.
saving people. And then,
Oliver kills a drug dealer that's been
Good.
giving Thea drugs,
well, it was great, because he notices who he is, and he's like, oh, you're Oliver Queen!
and then he goes back to his
snaps his neck.
He goes back to his office because he's looking for where the Omega is. They're selling it.
This is before all that.
Yeah, and then he sees Felicity, like, in the office. She's like, "You're handsome." And she's like, "Why am I talking to a picture?" And then you're like, "Oh, that's where we're going to lead." Then you see Diggle and his brother. I didn't think they were going to bring him in.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's great."
His brother
and then
before he
Deadshot
died.
kills him.
Wow, we are depressing.
This is a depressing episode. And then they go back. He finds out where the auction house is happening, and he tells Maceo earlier. He's like, "I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore." Maceo goes in.
I'm
He
gonna
gets
go talk-
captured, and
I'm
then
gonna go
Oliver
meet my
comes in.
family.
Boom, boom, kills everybody. And then they find the girl, Sean Wayne, whatever her fucking name is.
Her name's China White, but it's pronounced...
Chine White Way.
It's China Way or something like that.
They crash the car, and then Oliver basically punches the shit out of him. which
He
is
knocks her out.
And then the guy's got the briefcase.
He's like, you got two options.
No, he just tells him, he's like, you got two. I think he says two choices.
Yeah,
And he's like,
you can keep the hand.
or you can lose it.
Yeah.
And then the guy looks up, "Oh no, you can have the briefcase." So they get that, and you find out Oliver's like, "I'm done. Manda, thank you for your time," basically. And then she's like, "You're not done."
And then a general walks in and he goes, you got one more thing to do. All you're going to do is go to Hong Kong. We'll put you through a briefing, and then I'll put you right on the next flight.
Do you
right
know
to your
who that
hotel."
is?
No.
General Shrive. He's in the comics. He's a leader of a weird group of people. I forget the name, but it's like one of the weirdest groups of somebody was commenting on.
All right,
it,
I'll
like,
look at it.
Yeah, and you find out they go back in the current day,
Real world.
They go back to Starling City, and then
Thea's done with Malcolm.
She tells
She says, I'll be your teammate.
the speech she gives was one of my favorite Thea moments. She's like, I'll be your
I'll be
student.
your teammate, your student.
I'll be your soldier. I was like, holy shit!
But
yeah.
I will not be your daughter.
I was
until
like,
we're
oh,
done.
that hurt. And then he looks at Oliver. He's like, why did you tell her?
He's like, why? Come on, I have nothing.
And is that where the episode ended?
Yeah. And then we get the preview, and guess who's coming?
I didn't see the preview.
You didn't see the preview?
I watched it on demand where they don't show the previews.
Adam's coming.
Is he?
Yes, this week.
Nanda Parbat.
Yeah, Panda Norbert.
You made fun of me
I did.
when I announced
apologize.
that.
Formally, I apologize, Zach.
He's like, why would they call it Nanda Parbat?
It's Panda Norbert.
And
now.
Ra's al Ghul's coming.
We've seen him already.
Yeah.
But we get the Adam suit.
Oh, I can't wait.
It looks awesome.
I'm iffy on it. I'm like, I thought it would be.
Oh, what did you
cooler.
just want the latex suit so you could see his bulge?
No, I wanted to see the suit that
his
he had.
bulge.
The suit that he had when he was showing it off to Felicity.
That's what it is.
It's kind of different.
That's because it's not a hologram.
I want it to be the hologram. I want it to be covered head to toe in hologram.
But that was Arrow.
It was
Enjoyable episode.
an enjoyable episode. There
I'm not
enough,
going to say it's a bad episode.
There
I'm not
wasn't
gonna
enough
say it's a great
Slade.
episode.
There wasn't enough Slade. I needed more of that.
I need more Slade.
I like how at one part when Thea's like, "Oh, isn't there anybody else that can help us?" and he's like, "It's Boomerang." So he's like, "I don't think he's gonna want to help us." So hopefully Slade breaks out. I hope Ra's al Ghul actually breaks him out, and they team up to go after Oliver, which would be so cool.
Or Amanda Waller comes in.
For the
And she's-
Suicide Squad.
and
Because the
she
Suicide
says-
Squad episode's coming up.
Yeah, she says, I got a contract for you.
Do you think they're going to put Slade in the Suicide Squad?
Not yet.
Later down the line?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think he ever breaks out and goes after Oliver again?
Yes.
Okay. I can't wait for that. I'm excited.
I know Manu Bennett's not done on the show.
Oh God, dude. You know what I hope?
He's gonna swim to Starling City.
You know what I hope? When they do the Teen Titans show, which hopefully is a thing, like they did with the cartoon, I hope he's the main villain.
I don't.
Really?
Uh-huh.
He was the... Ron Perlman was great as Slade
That's who that
Wilson.
was?
Ron Perlman was from Slade Wilson. It was awesome. And they have the whole thing with Raven, which...
I think what they should do for Titan show, we're going on a little tangent here, but I think what they should do for at least the first 2 seasons, Trigon.
Okay, I can see that.
At least the first
Wasn't
2.
Slade throughout the entire series?
Yes.
He was throughout the entire series.
Well, he was the main villain. Trigon was only
Best fight scene in that entire show? Him versus Robin.
There's like 9 of those fights.
At the end. That ending fight scene with him and Robin.
You know what? We're going to make this a separate video. We're actually going to go back and watch every Teen Titans episode.
We'll review it. Oh my god, I love it! Yes!
Before the show comes out,
They
we'll list our top 10 favorite Teen Titans episodes.
I already have my number 1.
There you go.
Oh my
We're
god,
gonna talk
I'm
about
so
it.
excited now.
So that'll be a separate video.
Let's go on to Walking Dead now.
Alright.
And finally, the last episode of the week we talk about is...
The Walking Dead.
Walking Schmed.
Not as great as the last 2 episodes, but still an outstanding episode.
I like this better than last week's episode.
Really?
I like this because it set up a lot of
Yeah, it did.
stuff. And I'm so excited. We find they take in Aaron and they brick beats the shit out of him, punches him, and nobody trusts him. I think Michonne's the only one that trusts him.
Michonne's the only one that's
In the comics, she's just like that. She wants to find a place where she could finally hang it up. Basically, she doesn't want to kill anymore.
She could put her sword over the mantle. That's what she wants.
That's an iconic scene in the comics. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
No, it's not. That's when they force her to do it, remember?
Oh yeah, you're right.
In the comics?
But then she doesn't. Yeah.
She's like, screw you, it's my sword.
No, she doesn't care.
She steals
after
it back.
But after that, she's just like, I'm hanging it up. But this episode's leading towards 2 things. One, Alexandra. We finally find out they said
the name.
I screamed like a little girl when Aaron was like, "Oh, we gotta go to Alexandria." What? Are you kidding me? And
I was incorrect. I thought they were going to the Hilltop.
Hilltop's after Alexandria. If you read the comics, we won't get into that.
Yeah, we're not going to get too far into it.
Basically, Aaron's telling them, you should trust me throughout this episode.
Rick doesn't want to. He sends a search party to go find Eric.
Who we find out they both are gay, and they're a really important part of the comic books as well. Which is like, there's one more character who is gay.
I don't think they're going to bring him in.
You don't think so?
No.
Ooh, I hope they do.
I'll talk to you off camera. Why?
That's one of the best characters in the comic books.
But so basically, he sends this group, and Glenn does not trust him at all. Glenn wants nothing to do
with Aaron.
Remember, as he's with Aaron.
Okay.
Because he knows that there's someone else out there.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was a really good scene when Aaron's sitting on the ground, and Rick comes up and he goes, "How many men do you have out there?" And he goes, "Does it matter? You're not going to believe me
He's
anyway."
like, I could say 32.
I could say 0,
oh my God.
1, 32, 444. It doesn't matter. You're not going to believe me. And he goes, "I have 1." And Rick rolls his eyes and he goes, "Exactly. You don't believe me."
And he was right. He said he had 2 cars out there. He was right about that.
Yep.
So you get little pieces of who Aaron is in this episode, kind of. Walking,
No, the applesauce scene.
Oh my god! So Rick, Judith is crying. Listen. I understand.
There's
Judith.
walkers around. Shut up, baby.
I understand why they kept Judith in the show. I completely understand.
You can't kill a baby on TV.
They should have. Not because I don't like. Well, I don't like kids. Well, you know that.
You don't like babies.
I don't like babies. No. But it proves more problems. I guess that's what they're going for. But. They're in the barn. It's just him, Aaron, and Judith, and Aaron's like, "I've got applesauce in my bag. You could."
Rick's trying to crush up acorns.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Babies love this stuff."
I used to eat that as a baby. And Aaron's like, "No, I got applesauce. Feed her applesauce." And Rick's like, "You're poisoning my baby, basically."
He's like, "Why would I poison your baby? You already punched me in the face."
And you'll put. Oh, he tells him earlier. He's like, if they're not back in 60 minutes, because he's giving them the time
60.
limit. 60 minutes.
That's 16.
And
he's like, scary.
He's like, if they're not back, I'm gonna stick a knife through the bottom of your throat.
Through this base of your skull.
Yeah. And Aaron's like, you've told me already, you're gonna kill me regardless, so why would I poison your baby? So he's like, eat it. And Aaron's like, I hate applesauce.
He's like, no, seriously, I don't like applesauce. My mom forced me to eat applesauce when I was a kid, and ever since that, to make me seem like
more manly.
More manly.
And it's funny because you find out he's gay in this episode,
Yeah.
so it all makes sense.
And so Rick basically forces him to eat it, and then he licks the spoon after.
Because I guess.
And then he's like, "All right, you're good." And feeds Judith, and she's like, "Applesauce."
And it finally fucking shuts up this episode.
But then they find out the cars are real, so they start
They
going
split up in
towards-
2 different groups.
And Rick's like, "How do we get to your location?" And Aaron says, "Oh, just take Route 16.
We're gonna take Route 32.
Go right up there."
We're gonna take Route 23. 23.
He goes, "We'll take Route 23." He goes,
Tell us-
No, we didn't clear that yet. I wouldn't take it." And he goes, "We're fine."
No, Rick's like, all right, tell us where we are, and we'll go your way. And he's like, tell us where we're going.
Your location is.
And he's like, and Aaron's like, no. He's like, all right, we're taking Route 23.
So they start driving, and then
it's Rick, Glenn, Michonne, and Aaron in one car, and the rest of them in the trailer that they have.
Yeah, the RV. And then they see that they're going through the glove compartment,
And
they
finds
see the license plates.
yeah.
And it's a cute little thing because this is an actual thing from the comic.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm
where
collecting
he's
from each
trying
state.
to get all 50. And then they find a sonar thing.
Which is, he's like, you've been listening to our conversations?
He's dropping spy tool.
And he's like,
I told you I was listening.
I've been watching you guys, why wouldn't I be listening? And then Michonne's like, he's listening, let's go! And they stop the car, and then zombies come in.
Well, no. They were like, they all turn around, they're like, why were you listening? And then they turn and there's like a horde.
And it's like, I watched you, why wouldn't I be listening?
And they're like,
and
and then they start
this
running
entire
down.
episode, I'm thinking Rick's a dick, and I'm like, Aaron's telling the truth because I know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. If I didn't know what was going to happen,
You'd be like,
I agree with Rick.
screw
Yeah.
you, Aaron.
So, Aaron hears a flare go off.
Well, no. They start running down the walkers. The RV gets separated, so they start going ham outside, and then you see the flare
Walker
go off.
parts are inside the car, they're trying to get it
Yeah.
out, and you see a flare go off, and Aaron's like, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And he kicks the door and hits me. Then we started freaking out about something that might have happened, but it didn't happen.
There's a character, evil character, we've referenced him.
Let's just say it, it's Negan.
His name is Negan.
Yeah,
If you
I'm
wanna
not going
Google
to tell
him,
you what
by all
happens,
means,
but
he's a huge character in the comics.
and we're all hoping he comes into
Yes.
here.
So then Aaron gets away, Glenn
Follows
gets
him.
separated. No,
Falls. Doesn't he fall him?
oh yeah, he gets separated too.
Because Aaron's kicking a zombie away from him.
Well, he gets pinned on a tree by a zombie. He's like, "No, get away!" And then Glenn kills it, and he unties him, and he says, "You can run now, or you can stay and fight." And then
Aaron's like, we're better off fighting together.
and then it cuts to Rick and Michonne, and Rick gets a flare gun and shoots a Walker in the head.
In the face.
It was the coolest thing
And
ever.
it lights up the skull, which is awesome.
So then they're fighting, all that fun stuff, and what's his name? So Glenn, they meet back, and then they go.
Aaron's like, you can tie me up again if you want to, because they save Michonne and Rick, and then Rick's like, there's no time to do that.
So then they get to the flare, and they see the group, and
you see the sweet little Eric
you
is
see Eric,
down.
and then he runs in and he kisses
Oh,
Eric.
it was adorable.
Not Rick, Aaron.
No, Aaron kissed Rick. And then he's got one of the license plates for him, and
then he looks at him and he goes, "You lost the license plate."
I lost the car.
Yeah,
no, he says, you lost the license plate?
I lost the car.
And he's like, I'm just happy to have you here. And I'm like, oh.
And then Rick's like creeping around the corner. He's like, "What's going on here?"
He's like, Eric, this is Eric. And he's like, Rick. Could you see the beard? And I'm like,
This is Eric, and you just see the one silhouette of his face. And he's like, Rick.
I was laughing. And then Rick is like, you sleep over there. And Aaron's like,
If you think that you're gonna separate me from him right now,
you have to kill me.
Then you crazed.
You have to shoot me, basically.
Yeah. So
And then
he's
Glenn's like basically, like he's telling the truth the entire time.
Yeah.
He hasn't lied.
But there was one thing with Michonne, and Rick's talking, like,
This
Michonne's
is
trying
after it happens, yeah.
Michonne's trying to get Rick on board, and Rick's like, remember, what did you hear outside of Woodbury? And she goes, silence. And he goes, what did you hear outside of
Terminus.
She goes, silence. And he goes, what do you think we're going to hear outside of, outside of this place? And she says...
Alexandria, you had it right.
He doesn't say Alexandria.
Oh, doesn't?
No, he says this place. She says, silence. So they pull up.
They're in the RV, and Abraham and Rosita have a cute little moment.
They're in the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I forgot about
Abraham is basically like in preacher mode. He's like, we're going to get through this. We're going to get to D.C. And then Rosita points out, and she's like, look. And it's the Washington
She
Monument.
says, we made it.
And,
And
Abraham smiles, and he's like, I told
you. And then he
you.
looks down, and it says low voltage, and he goes, we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
And they break
down. And then they're looking at it, and Glenn goes, if you remember from the first season, who taught Glenn about the RV?
Was it Dale?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Dale.
And he goes, "Nah, it's fine. We just need a
That's
new
why
battery."
you texted me about. I forgot that. I didn't put that two
He
together.
says, "We got to do the battery." And he goes, "Well, where are we going to get a new battery now?" And he goes, "Don't worry." And he lifts up the stairs, and there's two sitting there. And he goes, "How'd you know about that?" And he goes, "An old friend told me about this."
Oh, God. We miss you, Dale.
And then, so, that happens. It was adorable. They fix the RV. They make it to the gates. And Rick rolls the window down. And he's got, like, the angry look on his face. And he's like, "Oh, I hate people."
And Michonne's like, listen.
And you hear children laughing and playing.
Rick
and then Rick
smiles,
face loose and
yes.
he smiles and put your hands on the steering wheel. And Michonne goes, we're not driving, we're stopped." Michonne goes like
We gotta
this.
make a sharp left turn.
Michonne goes like this and goes, "Come on,
Let's go.
Let's go home."
And I was like, they could end the season, the series here, and
Yeah,
that
it
would have
would've
been
been perfect.
But they wouldn't have brought in the best character in the show.
Yeah, but still. So they get out and they walk towards the gate and stand there, and the episode ends. And we see next week they enter Alexandria.
And then
We're getting a character soon.
there are a lot of characters actually.
Douglas.
Holly, Douglas. You remember Holly from the comics?
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's leading up to you now. You're
Sorry about that. We had a...
Sega keeps interrupting the shit out of us right now.
Yeah, really, dick.
So that was Comic Book Mania. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I thought we did good.
It was good. Yeah.
It was a good episode of The Walking Dead.
Yes, it was very good.
Good episodes all
And,
week.
Oh, next week's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Shows
And
are going away in May, right?
Flash. Yeah, it's coming up. Gee, what are we gonna do? We're doing the top 10 shows, right? After that?
Well, I think we'll just poke each other a few times.
Teen Titans is gonna be the first episode we do. We're top 10 episodes of Teen Titans,
Yes.
and whatever top. What do you guys think we should do? Comment below.
Write in the comments what we should top 10.
Yes,
And maybe we'll listen to you.
and we're gonna also We're also gonna be bringing you reviews coming up.
Yeah.
Because Ultron, Age of Ultron comes up in May.
Yes.
So after that ends, we're gonna do a lot of. We have a lot of good stuff planned for
We're
you
gonna
guys.
maybe we'll do some skits. Some live action
Do
stuff.
some improv. This is all live action.
Improv.
What are you talking about? This is live action.
They don't know that.
We're computer animated.
We're all computer animated, man.
We're in the Matrix.
AI.
All right, let's end the
dude.
episode because we've been here way too long. I'm Zach.
I'm Dante.
We're the Bad Game Boys, and I always like
Comment.
and subscribe.
And as I always say, I love you.
We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Ow, my knee.